did a little more than usual this week, guys. I apologize in advance,
Uh,
or you're welcome in advance. I don't know. I pulled 25 plays. I have 166 different screenshots in here for you guys of different plays. Most of them are like of just different segments of the same play. But we're gonna go. First play here is 11:49 the first quarter, ball in the 25. This is Sark. This is the first offensive play of the game. This is Sark making things easy for Arch early on in this football game. So you can see they come out here and they got a receiver up here at the top. They're in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends and another receiver down here at the bottom. And then at the mesh point here, you can see that Jordan Washington is down here getting ready to make a block. They're going to run a little play action tight end screen. And Arch holds on to the ball, waits for Washington to disengage from his guy and turn around. He then dumps the ball off to him there, and he is able to move upfield and get a good, easy first down completion, get Arch into a rhythm, and make a nice play for that Texas offense early on. And one of the things I really like about this play is what Cole Hudson did. You can see up here that he is engaged, like he gets a little chip on this defensive tackle here, and then you can see him moving upfield here to help make a block and get Washington a little more space to run. Gooseby is also getting downfield and making a block, and Washington gets the first there. This is first and 10. I think this is the very next play, if I'm not mistaken, or very close to it. This is the play that Nick Brooks gets called on the hold. But I want to show this play because it signified to me a change in the way that Texas, or specifically that Trey Wisner is running the football with, in the fact that he, he's a very smart, opportunistic back, and he knows what he needs to do to help set his offensive line up for success. So you can see Arch hands the ball off to him, and he runs all the way up to the line here before he makes his cut to the outside. And what that does is it allows the offensive line to be engaged, and it brings the defenders in so that when he bounces outside, they're already all, kind of washed out. And this is the play where Nick Brooks gets the hold. You can see right here that he is getting that hold. But if he just lets him go, I think you still have the same results even without the hold there, because Wisner waits until then to get around the edge. And one of the things that you see with running backs so often when on outside runs is instead of firing up to the offensive line and then going outside, they'll just take the ball and go straight to the outside, which doesn't really give you the same opportunity to manipulate the defense there. You can see here, this is an alternate view of him hitting the line, and Brooks is engaged with this guy. And if he just lets him go, then Wisner can probably still make the same play. But Wisner breaks free. He makes 3 miss there, and he gets a big gain, but it obviously gets called back for a hold. And this is also the play. This is Nick Brooks right here. He's running straight with Wisner all the way down the field, which I loved. Great effort play by Nick Brooks there, despite the penalty. This is also one that I have in my notes, says improvements to the run game. So we'll come down here. You can see the set that they're in. Moore is coming in motion here. And I think this is a good play by Gooseby to push his guy out, and then Brooks moves his as well on this play. You can see them engaged here, and Gooseby's winning his rep right here. Brooks is winning his rep right here. And then as Wisner's coming through, I think he's coming up this way. And look at this hole, Patrick. You can see Gooseby is moving his guy. Brooks is moving his guy. Hudson's engaged really nicely right here. DJ Campbell's got a piece of his guy. But look how small this hole is right here.
Yeah.
You said it best. I have the same verbiage in my notes. He just gets small, and he gets through the hole. And, look at that. That's crazy how small he's able to get and find his way and navigate through. I thought Hudson did a nice job too of finding another guy to engage after he started moving as well, and goes here and pushes his guy that way. And it ends up being a nice gain for Wisner there. And you notice as well there's somebody here who's not an offensive lineman. Uh, um, Emmett Mosley comes all the way over and helps in the run blocking here, and gets a nice block here in the middle that helps to spring Wisner for more yardage. So you heard about Trey Wisner, Emmett Mosley being a good blocker downfield. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about when we say that.
Yes.
So great stuff from Mosley there. All right, next play we got something that I never thought I would write down on a piece of paper this season, Patrick. Brooks and Hudson dominate. We're second at 5, 3:20 to go in the first quarter, ball on the 47. Texas comes out with one tight end, two to the wide side of the field, one on the Mosley's down here at the bottom of your screen. And you can see at the snap here, Brooks is already turning his guy inside. Hudson is getting pushed a little bit by David Stone here. I think that's David Stone. It might be the other guy. I think it's David Stone. But he's getting a push there. And you can see here from the other side, he's keeping his guy at bay here. DJ Campbell is running up to get this linebacker, and Wisner again sees that. He sees Brooks wiping his guy to the side. Goosby's getting beat a little bit here by this linebacker, but it doesn't matter. Wisner is able to find the crease. And look at this effort by DJ Campbell too, to try and stay in the play and chip this linebacker. But Wisner is able to squeak by him. Ends up getting a few extra yards after that. Great job by the linebacker. And look at this. Emmett Mosley blocking downfield physically. You love to see that. He's heavily involved in this run blocking game, and I love it. I love every second of it. Okay, here's my first wow throw from Arch in this football game. 2nd and 5, 3:01 to go in the first quarter. Ball on the 47-yard line again. You can see the formation here again. 2 to the wide side of the field, 1 down. Emmett Mosley down here to the left, and Endries here at tight end. And you can see what happens here is he's got a pretty nice pocket for a minute there. There's nothing there. He could potentially fire this ball right here, but he's got a linebacker coming up this way. He's got a defensive back right here. This guy's moving left, but or I guess it would be to his right. But he could potentially throw it there. He decides not to. He tries to reset. And you can see here, I love this play by DJ Campbell. He's engaged right here, and he moves his guy all the way to the back and then finishes that play there. Arch is trying to reset, though, and instead of resetting, he decides to use his legs and get out into space to the short side of the field here. And because of that, you can't hit this receiver here. You can't hit Mosley back here, even though he's going to be open on this side of the field. That would be a disastrous throw, maybe one that John Mateer would have tried to make. But he rolls out to his left, and you can see this receiver here notices that Arch, he looks back at Arch and sees, okay, my quarterback's trying to move. I got to move with him, right? So he makes a move back this way to try to get open in what we call a scramble drill. Arch sees that, and he's getting ready to let the ball go before he passes by this defender, knowing that he's going to be in this little pocket right here. And he ends up making a tremendous throw to the receiver there. I mean, look at that. He's throwing off a 1 foot across his body and makes a just absolute, dot right here to the receiver. And he makes the catch and secures it for a first down. That was DeAndre Moore there on the catch. So great timing and anticipation there from Arch. This is another heads up play by Arch. 3rd and 29 after, penalties kind of derailed you. You had a negative play, and you're back in what would be a 58-yard field goal if you had to settle for a field goal here on an incompletion. But what happens is you can see the formation here: 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. 3 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Endries down here at tight end in the slot. And, Baker gets whipped by R. Mason Thomas on this play, which, right here, which is nothing to be ashamed about. R. Mason Thomas is playing fantastic football so far this year. So he's going to win some reps. Arch feels that, and he decides, you know what, I'm going to step up. I'm going to see if anything's there. He could theoretically dump it off to one of these guys, but what he sees is that I got a bunch of green grass right here potentially. So I'm just going to use my best feature, and I'm going to use my legs. And if Wisner is able to hold this block here, then Arch could potentially get forward for even more yards. He's not going to get a first down by any stretch of the imagination. At least realistically, if he can make a guy miss up here, maybe, but he knows he just needs to get some yards for his field goal kicker. So he ends up getting back to the 40-yard line, which he gets a couple extra yards on there. It gives Texas an opportunity to kick a field goal. They miss it, but he made the right play with what he had in front of him to set up that opportunity. And the kick had the distance. It just dinged off the upright. So that was just an unfortunate turn of events there for the kicker, Mason Shipley. But all right, play 6 here. 8:37 to go in the second quarter. Ball on the 22-yard line, 1st and 10. Another heads-up play here by this is play 7. This is Wisner shifting the momentum of the football game. So Texas comes out into 12 personnel here, which has signified we're going to run the football a good portion of this season. You can see Endries here, and you can see Washington here. You go down to the next screenshot here. You can see Endries gets a nice seal on the outside here. And then Wisner, he makes R. Mason Thomas. You can see R. Mason Thomas here getting by his offensive line. I think it was Washington that was supposed to block him right here through. But Wisner is able to make him miss. And you can see that Washington has this is another play that you love to see out of these young players. His guy gets washed out of the play, and he notices that he needs to get upfield to help Wisner a little bit more so he can get extra yardage. So he moves upfield. Wisner keeps going. You can see Livingston about to engage this guy up here. Livingston gets his guy. Washington makes a key block right here to help spring Wisner to the outside. And he just starts running. And you can see Livingston didn't have to blow the guy off his feet, didn't have to keep him engaged. He just had to make some contact on him to spring Wisner, and that's exactly what he did. And Wisner ends up a little bit hobbled. You can tell he doesn't have quite the top end speed that he had last year. But he gets downfield for a huge game that I thought really shifted the momentum for this offense a lot. And I think my favorite thing about this play is look who is down here trying to make a block 37 yards down the number 16. Arch Manning trying to get out there for his guy. He doesn't quite get there in time, but you got to love that effort out of Arch there. All right, this is Arch on the move again. Gooseby gets beat on his rep. You can see the formation here. Bunch to the wide side of the field. Livingston up here, and again, this is just Gooseby has a tough rep here. He ends up losing the rep, and R. Mason Thomas gets by him again, and you can see that Cole Hudson is here engaged with Nick Brooks. They're kind of double teaming this guy. Baker's got a nice seal on this side. Campbell's locked up with his guy here. And what Arch does is he steps up and moves out to the right side. So he comes up this way, keeps his eyes downfield. You can see him looking with his eyes downfield. You can see him point to the receiver to tell him to change directions, which is exactly what Sark was talking about earlier, keeping your eyes downfield, communicating with your receivers in those scramble drills. And also look at Campbell still engaged here, even though Arch is well outside the pocket. Love to see that. Arch ends up hitting DeAndre Moore here on a short gain that ends up being a first down on the move. Great use of his legs there. Okay, play number 9. I have in all caps, injuries involved. So we love to see Jack Endries get involved here. Here's a formation here. Moore is moving to his left in motion, and Endries is down here at the short side of the field. This is a play where Moore is going to come up and try and carry a defender. Parker Livingston is running a wheel route here to try and get open deep. And then you have you have Wingo running deep as well, going this way, and Endries is coming out here short, and DeAndre Moore is going to cut back inside on this route for another short, another short concept there. You can see him right here coming short this way. But what happens here is Wingo carries his defenders deep. Livingston's carrying these guys deep. So the middle of the field is open right here. There's a bunch of space here. And Endries' concept here is that he's going to come to the outside and then double back in. Arch sees that. His defender gets put on skates, and Arch hits him with a little bit of a dot there, and he gets inside the 10 to about the 14, 13-yard line there for a nice gain. Put Texas in good field position. All right, play number 10. Arch trusts his guy to go get it. 3rd and 2 at the 14-yard line here in the second quarter. Still a 0 on the scoreboard for Texas, by the way, this late into the first half. You got trips to the wide side of the field. You got Wingo down here on the short side of the field. And what happens here is that these two guys, which is Endries and I believe DeAndre Moore, their only responsibility on this play is to get these two defenders out of the play. Livingston is running a little bit of a move here, and then he cuts back inside for a screen. And what Arch does is he puts the ball up into the air where Livingston can use his height and his athleticism to go get it. And that's exactly what he does here. He catches the ball moving forward and ends up getting a nice gain of about 8 on this play. I thought they called the play dead a little early because he ended up springing out and going into the end zone, but they had already called it dead. But you can see his guys engaged here, moving their defenders out of the play after a nice first down there.
Yeah, that was a play where you watch it and you're like, it is really borderline. And I get why they stopped it. I'm not really mad at them stopping it because if they don't blow the whistle, does he get out? And
Probably
you wonder,
not.
like, and that's the question was like, when you hear the whistle and he gets out right away, but you're like, was that them releasing or did he get out? And my assumption would be, I don't think he gets out if they don't blow the whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think so either. But
still,
I would have liked. I would have liked to have seen it. I would have liked to have seen it. But okay, here is one of my few complaints from Arch on the entire day. Like I said, I got 25 plays in here. Not all of them are positive. This is one of the negative plays where I think Arch needs to be a little bit more confident. This is at the goal line, 2nd down. They run a play action here, and you can see that Livingston is running into grass right here, and Arch is at the back of his drop back here. He needs to rip this football as soon as he gets set, which is about a step later, and then he's got a touchdown to Livingston. But he ends up, and you can see a better view of it right here. Like that, I mean, you need to rip that football right there because this guy is not going to be able to get over in time. You can get it over this guy, and you've got a touchdown. But what ends up happening is he kind of hesitates, and then Livingston gets covered, and he ends up throwing it out of the back of the end zone. So a little bit more confidence from Arch in his arm right there would have been nice. They end up settling for a field goal, get their first points of the game. This is play 12, and this is just Arch being slippery. First play of the second half on the 25-yard line. You can see they're in a pretty tight formation here, 12 personnel. Shannon there, Endries here, and then the receivers there and there. And so what happens here is that Kobe McKenzie, who is, I believe, right here, ends up firing inside and beating his man. So Brooks is trying to get a hat on him right here, but he can't quite do it. McKenzie rushes upfield, but Arch is able to. I think Brooks got a little bit of a hand on him, which may have helped out. But I mean, this looks like a sack, doesn't it, Patrick?
Yeah, it does. I think
And
there is just enough distance in between, but that angle definitely looks like it's going to be a sack.
yeah, but Arch is able to kind of maneuver to his left, and you can also see Endries right here hanging on for dear life. Arch
Yeah,
feels this guy behind him, however, and he's able to get rid of the football off to the flat here to I believe it's Trey Wisner here. I'll show you here in a second, and you love this play from Troy Wisner because this safety you can't really see him from this angle here, but when Arch lets go of the football, this guy is running downhill as fast as he can at Wisner, right? And Wisner recognizes that. After he catches the ball, he cuts back upfield and makes the guy miss. Or sorry, that's later on. He cuts it to the right and makes the guy miss, and he's able to salvage a down that otherwise would have been a sack.
yeah.
And he gets a couple yards. He kind of keeps you on schedule with that play, and that's just a really good job of Arch being slippery in the pocket right there, and something you
that
really like to see.
that on schedule, man, that is such a big thing of why that third down conversion rate picked up. Was instead of it being a sack or even an incompletion, you do get a few yards, and now you're putting those third and manageables.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, if you're looking at it from this angle, the line of scrimmage is the 24-yard line. If Arch takes this sack right here, I mean that's a loss of 6 yards or so, and you're looking at 2nd and 16. Now you're looking at 2nd and 9, and that's a big difference. I mean,
Yeah.
2nd and 16 is a drive killer, so that's a big difference. All right, next play I have in my notes, Brooks in all caps. And it's so 2nd and 9 on the 26 right here. You can see that this is a run play here, and Brooks just does a fantastic job of turning his guy outside here, and washing him out of the play. I mean, look, this is the kind of hole that we haven't really seen from the Texas running game
Yeah.
in a like almost all season long. Hudson's engaged here. I thought DJ Campbell did a great job too. He's getting pushed back at a certain point, but he's able to kind of reset his feet and move his guy to the outside. Hudson stays engaged here. Goosby's engaged here. And then look at Brooks here too. Finding another guy. He's got his back turned. He redirects and goes after the defender there, and it gets a hat on him so that Wisner can break through that hole and get a nice gain there. So it's like that's the kind of stuff that Connor Stroh couldn't do, right? And those are the kinds of things that Nick Brook has added to this rushing attack that have really helped out in a lot of spaces. Here's another example of of a negative play, but Sark had been very patient with, getting stuff underneath and getting quick completions for Arch and all that. He tries to take a shot here, and it just doesn't end up working out. You can see the formation here. Wingo is going to run an out and up this way, and I believe it's Mosley is going to run an up and in. I think I got those backwards, but whatever. You can see them running downfield. Arch is doing a play action here. Gooseby just gets whipped again by our Mason Thomas, who had a heck of a game here. He just wasn't able to get home a lot of times. He does get home on this play, however, and you can see here. By the time that these guys are starting to break on their routes, our Mason Thomas already has his basically is already contacting Arch on this play. Endries is kind of trying to run an in over here. Wisner's open in the flat, but it's too little, too late, and it just doesn't end up working out. Arch takes the sack, and Oklahoma finally gets one on him there. But, Sark was trying to take a shot, and that's why I think you did not see a lot of deep shots in this game because Oklahoma's got that kind of pass rush, and that's what they tried to stick to against Florida and what they got away from in this game. And they just tried to take opportunities when they could get them instead of relying on it, which I thought was a big change. Play number 15 here. Arch doesn't get greedy. This was one of my favorite plays of the entire game from Arch, because he trusts Trey Wisner on this play. So you can see the formation here. And then R. Mason Thomas jumps off sides. Texas snaps the ball. And it's like typically, and my guy Brooks said this really well the other day. I think it was yesterday. Typically when you get an offsides call like this, you're coached to take a shot and try and get an explosive play because it's a free play, right? Just find somebody downfield and launch it because it's a free play. But what Arch does here instead is he realizes that Trey Wisner is wide open.
Well, yeah, and if you look at everybody else, you're launching into double coverage, basically. Mm-hmm. And I know there's two guys over there and two defenders and a safety on the back. There, you can chunk it, but there's almost 0% chance of a play happening.
Correct. And what Arch sees here is like, okay, I've got my guy wide open in the flat, and there's nobody around him. Yeah. The only guy that can make a play on this, since this receiver is carrying his defensive back this way, the safety is coming down to crash this, and he makes the right decision. Like the safety is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's just too far away from the play to make an impact. So Arch gets it to him, and Wisner realizes like, okay, this guy's screaming down on me. I just got to step one way, and I can make this guy miss. And he does just that, and he's able to get downfield for a huge gain there for, 12, 13 yards, get the ball across the 50, and another nice, not quite explosive, but good chunk play there for Arch in the passing game. Play number 16. I finally give props to Brandon Baker. It's he's had a rough year so far, but he makes a good play here. Here's your formation, more coming in motion, and you can see like one of the things that happens in this play is this is a running play, and one of the things that's so important about this type of concept is your offensive line moving their guys to the right, and all three of these. Or all four of these guys, Gooseby, Brooks, Hudson, and Campbell, are all washing their defenders to the right. Baker is also able to move his guy. He doesn't pancake him or anything like that, but he's able to move him off of his spot and wash him out of the play, which allows Wisner to break up field a little bit. Livingston's getting a nice block here. And you're able to get, another solid chunk there and move the chains in the run game. And this is, again, stuff that we had not seen all season long from this Longhorns run blocking scheme. Play 17, run blocking in all caps. 2nd and 1, 11:24 to go in the third quarter, ball on the 40. Texas still down 6-3. So they're still trailing in the football game, but they're sticking to their plan. Here it's a tight formation, and then you move down here, and you can see that that Brooks, Hudson, and Campbell all seal their guys here. So Brooks is sealing this guy here. Hudson is able to move in up here. You can see that DJ Campbell also gets a hand on this guy to help out Brandon Baker before he moves up to number 7 here, to help out there. And Wisner sees that these guys are all washing their guys to the left. He sees Campbell in front of him. And you can see that push from Campbell and that block from Baker affect David Stone enough to where he's kind of out of position. Wisner's able to move this thing upfield and get a nice gain here. And he falls forward for another first down there for Texas. All right, let's move on to play 18. Make sure I got this. Oh, hold on. All right. I have here in all caps, Archibald can move. So this is 3rd down and 4, 9:58 to go, ball on the 25-yard line. You got Endries down here at this on the short side of the field. You got stacked receivers here in the slot, and you got Wingo up top here. Arch is looking for the wheel route right here from Livingston. The primary route, I believe. Let me see here. So his primary read is over here. It gets taken away. So Arch rolls left. And this is Wingo kind of running with him. He sees that Arch is scrambling, so he stops. And yeah, I mean, you could theoretically try to layer that ball in there to Ryan Wingo, but it's kind of an unsafe play because you got a defensive back here. This guy has his hips turned, but that's a really tough throw. But Arch sees Wingo is trying to get open for him here. And Wingo turns around and runs back this way. And Arch sees it, goes across his body. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, tough throw.
That's an incredibly tough throw. And he gets it right into to Wingo's breadbasket. Instead of trying to move upfield with it, which is, obviously when you catch the ball, you want to move with it and you want to try and get upfield. But he knows the situation of the play. He knows that it's it's 3rd down. So he just needs to secure the catch and move the chains. And that's exactly what he does. He secures the catch, gets down, moves the chains. And Texas, doesn't have to settle for a field goal there. They get to continue their drive. So this is 3rd down and 8, and this is the busted coverage that Sark was talking about. So Livingston is the primary read here. He's coming across the middle. I don't know what the concept was supposed to be for DeAndre Moore, because Sark said that he wasn't supposed to run this route. But what happened here, which I should have gotten a screenshot of that, apologies, but what happened here that confused Oklahoma is that Wisner went in motion this way, and it caused confusion with these 3 guys up here. So this guy didn't know his assignment. This guy didn't know his assignment. This guy probably knew, like, okay, I gotta squat on this guy. But there was confusion between these 2 guys on the back end here. And Moore just runs right past them, and Arch sees it immediately, layers the football over. And look at Moore. He's like screaming for it. Arch sees him though, and he lays it over those guys for an easy touchdown there. First touchdown of the game for Texas. They take the lead. And I took this screenshot because you can see Peyton Bowen right here, just looking like with his hands up in the air, like, what the hell just happened?
That wasn't my guy.
Yeah, and this guy's looking back like, what the hell? So. Great job by Arch and DeAndre Moore to recognize that and score a touchdown. This is the infamous Livingston throw. This is 3rd and 6. You got the ball on your own 9-yard line. Still a close game at 10-6, 5:56 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is the best throw Arch has made all season long. What Livingston is going to do is he's going to run up and out, and Hudson just gets whipped here by this Oklahoma defensive tackle. I mean, you can see he's bent over and trying to do anything he can to affect that guy. He just can't do it. This guy flushes Arch out of the pocket. And, this is like Sark said, typically if this was early on in the season, Arch just probably would have let this thing go and thrown it away or thrown it into the ground. But he moves to the right. He keeps his eyes downfield. And as this guy is kind of affecting his throw here by getting after his feet here, he's just letting it rip. And I mean, look at the body contortion here by Arch, just like sheer arm talent right there, because he's got no base to throw from here. I mean, he's throwing off of 1 foot, and he's still able. And there's another angle of it here. I mean, Livingston's 25 yards downfield from where he's letting go of the football, and look at the accuracy.
Put that right.
2 defenders here. Only one place your guy can make a catch on this football. And he puts it right there.
That's one of those plays you see a lot of times. A guy throw it too far to the outside to try and play it much safer, and put it out where my guy can get it. But Livingstone wasn't going to be there at that time because Arch is rushed. So he has to, he just throws a good pass instead of trying to do the safest possible thing. Still safe, still works, but you've seen a lot of guys throw those just too wide.
Yeah, I mean, and when you don't have a base to throw from,
Yeah,
there is a million different things that this ball could do.
yeah,
It could. Let me get to this other angle right here. Like it could fall short right here, or down here somewhere. It could sail on you.
it could see, you see a safety sitting right over the top of it too.
Yep, and if you put it a little bit too far left, these two guys can either break it up or they can intercept the football. But he puts it right on the money, and frames Livingston up there, and he's able to get his feet down. Which, when you're moving full speed to the right
Yeah.
at the sideline, and you still have the wherewithal to get your feet down and secure the catch, that's a good receiver right there too. So props to Livingston. Play 21. I got a few more for you left. All I have here is Arch trusts his guy, or it says trust your guy. So we're 3rd and 7 here, ball on the 32-yard line of Texas's own 32-yard line. Three to the top of the screen. Endries here to the bottom, and Campbell has to pick up a guy on an inside stunt, and Baker also gets beat on this play. So Arch has to check it down. So you can see this guy's rush. Looks like he's going to rush in here. What he actually does is cuts back inside to Campbell, and Baker is getting beat on this play because of that. He's getting beat inside. Good job by Hudson here too to recognize that. He knows that Brooks is going to engage with this guy and move him in, and so he, changes his direction and moves to help on the stunt there with Campbell. And Arch just decides, you know what, I'm going to step out a little bit, and I'm going to just dump it off to my guy. And you can see, again, it's the same thing as earlier. This safety is trying to crash down on Trey Wisner, and all he has to do with all this guy's momentum heading forward or heading towards him is make a cut to the left. And he does that. He's able to cut it upfield and get a big gain. And then look at big number 54. After all that work he did, he's moving down the field to help block for Wisner, and he's able to get a block there. I mean, look, this is right after Wisner makes the catch. Hudson's all the way over here. And he moves downfield, helps get this block here to help spring Wisner. And we're not done, Patrick. Big number 0 right there, DeAndre Moore. Look at him directing Wisner, like, go this way. I'm gonna block Bowen. Get behind me, and I'm gonna block him. You go right. He does just that and is able to get him a couple more yards because he moved Bowen out of the play, and Wisner gets a real nice gain there. And he's able to fall forward up to about the 48, 47-yard line. Just great downfield blocking. It's something we had complained about a lot this season with the downfield blocking from the receivers and the offensive linemen moving downfield. And, they were able to get it done on a lot of these plays that they hadn't been able to do that before. So you got to love to see that. This is play 22. I have this listed as more of this, please. So here's a formation here. One guy at the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom. Injuries to tight end. Campbell pulls here to the left. This is a zone read from Arch. Gooseby wins his rep right here. Pushes his guy inside. Arch keeps it. And I guess I skipped a screenshot here. But Arch takes it to the left. Dalen McCutcheon also gets a nice little chip on a guy out here that springs Arch for just enough to get the first down, and that was pretty big there. Okay, play 23. 3 plays left for you. This one I have listed as a big boy throw. So here's a play, and I'll try to speed this up a little bit because I know we're running out of time here. Campbell's getting pushed back, and he's but he's able to regain his ground and push Stone out of the play and allow Arch to step up into the pocket. And you can see Wingo kind of coming up to make some or trying to come up into space there. Arch sees him, he fires it. Just a nice 20-yard throw there on 3rd and long that doesn't get a first down. but it puts them in position for a field goal, and they hit it. And you can see Wingo secure it there. Big time throw.
Yeah.
Play 24.
And by the way,
How?
hey, big time call by Sark to kick a field goal. Big time call.
Yes, big time call. 2nd and 5, ball on the 42. It's 20-6 right now, so the game's pretty much in the bag. But this one just is titled How. Here's formation here. You can see it's a play action. Brooks moves his guy off the ball. It's not a play action, it's a run. Brooks moves his guy off the ball. Look how small this window is. And somehow, I seriously, I don't know how. Why? Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Wisner's able
leaning
to
back, putting his feet forward to get through, like spelunking.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going caving.
Exactly. And he's able to squirt through that hole somehow and get a first down. Great job by the offensive line, by the way. And look at the effort by Brandon Baker here to just push his guy away from the play and try and just get that little bit of extra space for Wisner. And that moves the chains. And then our final play. Have you seen the Chappelle Show, Patrick?
I've seen a lot of Chappelle Show. Yes.
Okay. This one's titled Game Blouses. So Winston comes in motion here, going this way. This ends up being a zone read. You can see him looking back to get set in motion here. And then what he ends up doing is coming back. So it's a zone read here. Arch decides to keep it because he sees 97 crashing down on Wisner. Keeps it, goes to the outside. You see Washington getting a nice block here. You see Winston out here on his guy. You see Wingo out here engaging his guy. Arch makes number 7 miss. He's able to move downfield, get a big gain, and then he has the wherewithal to slide.
Stay in bounds, slide, keep the clock running. And then I guess I didn't put – oh, here it is. And then he waves goodbye to the Sooner fans. So do you think they made him? Do you think they made him pancakes at the state fair?
They may have. So yeah, great stuff by the offensive line. Great stuff by Arch. Great stuff by the receivers. Great stuff by Wisner. Just overall, this is their most complete offensive performance that I've seen all season long.